Students, in this video you will study how to input data from the user through the keyboard using scanner class. So first step is to import the scanner class. The scanner class is basically a class which is defined in util package of Java package, and this package is used to input data from different sources like input stream, users, files, etc. And to import the class scanner of util package of Java package, the statement that you have to write is import java.util.scanner. Import is the keyword that is used to import any class or the whole package. Java is the main package which contains many sub packages. One of them is util, and scanner class is present in util sub package. After importing, the next step that you have to use is to create the scanner object in Java, and the syntax used is, how do you create object? First you write the name of the class, which is the scanner class here. This is the name of the class, and then you can select any object name of your choice. This is defined by the user, or you can change its name. Any name you can use here. New is keyword which is used to define object, scanner is the class, and then system.in is the argument. Example, if write scanner input is equal to new scanner system.in. Now input is the name of the object, scanner here is the name of the class. So first you write the class name followed by any name that you have selected as object name is equal to new. This is a keyword, you will write it as it is, scanner system.in. This part will be written as it is. Similarly, to read from the input stream, you will use the statement like scanner sc1 is equal to new scanner input stream input. To read input from files, you will use scanner sc2 is equal to new scanner file, any object file. And to read input from the string, you can use scanner sc3 is equal to new scanner string str. sc1, sc2, sc3 are the objects. You can use any object name. Rest of the statement is the syntax, so you have to use as it is. What are the methods that I use to take input in the scanner class? So there are different methods to use or to input different type of values. When you write a program, you have to deal with different type of values. Some values are integer values, some are float or double type of value, byte, short type of values, then string type of value. So for different type of values, there are different type of methods provided in scanner class. These are, first is next int, and see how to write. N is small, I is capital. Next int will read integer value from the user. If you want to input float value, you have to use the method next float. To input boolean value, you will use next boolean. To input line of text means a string having any type of character that can be typed from the keyboard using keyboard, including space also. Next will read a word. Word means string without space. Next byte will read a byte value from the user. Next double will input a double value from the user. Next short will read a short value from the user. Next long will read a long value from the user. Now let us use these methods in program. Suppose you want to read a line of text using scanner class. So first of all, you'll write this statement to import the scanner class, import java.util.scanner. Then you can define any class, and within main function the first statement is to create the object of scanner class. So scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in. This statement will create an object with the name sc. Suppose you want name to be entered by the user, so you give a message, enter your name, and this is the statement that is using the next line function, because name can contain 2 parts or 3 parts as first name, middle name, surname, and first name or surname. String type of value it is, so string name, this is a variable, you can use any variable name here. Sc is the object that you have already declared here. The same object name will be used here, you cannot change. Once you have declared any name here, you have to use same name. Dot next line, it is the method that I explained just now, that this method is used to input a line of text. So if you want to print the value of name, you'll write sopln name. You can close sc, the scanner class object, using sc.close, and if you run this code and you enter the name as Karan Gupta, so enter your name, this is the message flashed by this statement, enter your name, and this is the entry done by the user for this particular statement. And sopln my name is name, for this statement this output will be displayed. Next code, how to input integer. So again you will import the scanner class. First statement, declare an object of scanner class, scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in, enter an integer. Any such message can be given depending on the requirement. So the statement to input the integer is sc.nextInt, and because it is integer value, so we'll use a integer variable here. An integer variable, int data1 is an integer variable. You can declare any integer variable on the left hand side that will hold this integer value entered by the user. Next statement is to print the value that was entered by the user. So data1 is the variable, you'll use data1 to print the value. And if you execute, it will print this message, enter an integer first, and suppose you enter any integer, say 22. So this input is performed by this particular statement sc.nextInt, and in sopln using nextInt, this is the message, so it will be displayed as it is. Whatever you write within double quote is displayed as it is, and then data, this variable, because you entered 22 here, so that 22 will be displayed here. Next is to read a double value using scanner. Again input the scanner class, import the scanner class using import statement, then define the main function. First declare the object of the class, then give any message. If you want to input a double value, enter a double value message can be given. Then this is the method that will, the next double method will display, it will input the double value from the user, and this double is the data type and this is the variable name. Because the value entered by the user will be double type of value, so you require a variable double type on the left hand side of the expression. Now this statement, it will print the value entered by the user. So if you execute the code, it will print the message, enter double value, this message, and if you enter any value, the next statement sopln using double will print the same value which was entered here. So using next double you can enter double type of value. Now how to read a word, a single word from the scanner. So for that you have a method next. If you use next line, it will read line of text, that will include space also. But if you want to read only word, then you have to use sc.next here. This is to print the value of the string entered by the user. So for example, this time if you write Karan Gupta, enter your name and you entered Karan Gupta and there is a space also between the first name and the surname, then when you display it you will get only the first name. It is because this next function will not allow any space to be entered, so the input will be terminated from the space. Only Karan will be accepted as input. So to input one word you will use sc.next method. So a sample program to input length and breadth and to calculate area of rectangle. So first import, you can write util.asterisk or ut.scanner. Now first of all create the object. Suppose s1 is the object. Declare two variables l and b to input length and breadth. First enter the length, as because length is integer value you have declared integer, so you'll use next int method. Similarly for breadth also you have declared it as integer variable, so you'll write s1.nextInt to input an integer value as breadth of rectangle. And to print area the formula is length into breadth, so you can directly calculate length into breadth within the print statement, and if you execute it you'll get this type of output. Whatever input you give, accordingly the area will be calculated. Now in the next part of the video you will study about if-else statement in Java. Now there are certain situations when you have to decide whether to perform an action or not. So for that situation if-else statement is used in Java. So to place a condition and then to decide what to do and what not to do, we use if-else statement. Like if it is raining, I will take umbrella, otherwise I will not. This is a situation which depends on a condition whether it is raining or not. Similarly, a number is even or odd, it depends on a situation whether the number is divisible by 2 or not. If a number is divisible by 2, it is even, and if a number is not divisible by 2, it is odd. So for these conditions we use if-else. So if you want to use only if, then the format is if, expression, and then statements, the statements which you want to execute when this condition is true. This expression is actually the conditional expression which will use the relational operators, that is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. So this expression will be an expression that will use these relational operators and logical operators like and, or. So you know these operators, the result is either true or false. If works on true value of the expression. So if this expression returns true value, only then whatever you have written within the pair of these curly braces will be executed, otherwise these statements will be skipped. For example, if you write a is equal to 10 comma b is equal to 20, and if you write a less than b, Now if this condition is true, then only this part will execute. Here in this case, because a is 10 and b is 20, and this condition is true because 10 is less than 20, it will keep the values of a and b here in the expression. A is 10, b is 20, so the expression becomes 10 less than 20, which is true. So it will execute this part and it will print b is greater than a. But if you use some other value like a is 20 and b is 10, this condition will be false and this statement will not be executed. Now next is if else statement. If I are using if with else part, again this expression will be an expression having relational operator greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than or equal to, double equal to and not equal to. Any such conditional expression will be used here, which will either evaluate to true or false. Now if you are using else part, this else part will execute when the expression is false. This if part will execute when the expression is true. So if the expression is true, this part will be skipped, and if the expression is false, this part will be executed and this statement 1 or whatever statements you have written here will be skipped. For example, if you write a is equal to 20 and b is equal to 10, if a is less than b, if this is the condition, now it can be true or false depending on the values of a and b. In this case, a less than b is false because value of a is 20 and value of b is 10. So false means it will go to else part and it will execute this one, that is a is greater than b. And if it is true, like if you take a as 10 and b as 20, in that case the first part will be true. In that case it will execute the first statement. Now here these curly braces are optional when there is only one statement included within if or else. But if there are multiple statements, then these curly braces are compulsory to be used. Curly braces represent block of statements. So for multiple statements you have to use curly braces. So an example, if you want to input a number and print whether it is even or odd, to input you need scanner class. So declare an object of the scanner class, enter first number, any number, say n, s1.nextInt will be used to input an integer, and to check whether the number is even or odd, the statement is divide the number by 2 and get the remainder, and to get the remainder we use percent operator. So n% 2 equal to 0. So if any number is divisible by 0, the remainder will be equal to 0, that is n% 2 will be equal to 0. So in that case you have to print the message number is even, else means the number is not divisible by 0. So in that case you have to print number is odd. You can use nested if-else statements. That is, an else can have another if expression, and then next else can have another if expression, and so on. Now how this part will execute? If this is true, it will execute this part, this whatever you have written within the curly braces here, and then come out. And if this is false, then only it will come to the else part and check another condition. Again, if this condition is true, it will execute statement 2, and if this expression is false, then it will come to the next else. So again you can place a condition here. So if there are multiple conditions or multiple situations, you can use coding like this, and in the last, if there is any obvious situation, you can write else and write those statements in else part. So if none of the conditions are satisfied, it will come to the last else and execute this part. For example, if you want to input grade and print appropriate message like excellent or well done, whatever message you want to print. So first input grade. Now if you want to input single character, So you have studied methods to input a string, a line, an integer, a boolean value, but to input only one character there is no such method. So what you will do is you will input a string and take the first character of the string using the method char@ 0. So using this method you can, there is a semicolon missing here, using this char@ 0 method you can extract the first character of the string. Char@ 0 will extract first character of the string. This will input the string. Though you have entered only one character, that will be the only character extracted by this. So this is the method by which you can input one character in Java. So statement to check whether grade is A or not. If grade is A, you want to print, suppose you want to print the message excellent, so you'll write SOPLN excellent. Otherwise the grade can be B, C or D. So there is another condition also if grade is B. Suppose you want to print outstanding for that, so you'll write SOP outstanding. Now for next grade, again you will check the condition. If grade is equal to C, then SOPLN good, and if there is another grade D, you can write SOPLN can do better. And if you want to write otherwise like work hard, so you can write else SOPLN work hard. After the last if, you can simply write else SOPLN work hard. Otherwise this program will execute only for A, B, C, D inputs, and if anyone enters any other input, it will not display any message because you have included all the messages within if.